Uh. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Tim Conley here, and I want to answer a question from an audience member that I think is critically important for nearly everyone in an agency, not just people who are getting started, but this is a getting started question. So let's bring it up. So Jarrett commented on my 4 yes theory video, talking about getting 4 yeses at $25,000 per project, and it would be life-changing. Here's something super common among freelancers, consultants, solopreneurs, people just getting started is about self-worth and getting that initial price. Being able to charge what you should be charging for your services. So Jarek says, "Hi Tim, thanks for sharing. I'd love to try this strategy. My only apprehension is that I don't know if I and my services are worthy of $25,000 per project. Any advice?" And then another commenter, Scary TV, says, "In the same boat as you." And there's probably a giant majority who have seen that 4 yes theory and thought, there's just no way I can get $25,000 per project. So what I'm going to share with you is the concept of client stacking, where you're going to go from wherever you're at right now to $25,000 per project. Sound cool? So let's... Client stacking is the idea that we're going to go get our first initial clients, maybe our first 4 clients, and we're going to charge whatever we feel we're capable of charging. And then that's going to be our first stack. We're going to get good. We're going to use those people as case studies, and then we're going to start charging more for the next stack, and then the next stack, and so forth, until we have maxed out price elasticity in our market. And price elasticity is simply the amount that people are willing to spend, the range from a low number to a high number. That amount between there, it's kind of like elastic. It moves up and down. So one client in your market may be willing to pay a higher amount, whereas another client who's very similar to the other one is only willing to pay a lower amount. That's price elasticity. Let's start the client stack. Let's draw it up here, right here, boom, right? So going on this side is mo money, and down here is mo time. So I'll stop being silly. Revenue per client, that is right here. So we're going to start off at 0, and we're going to go up to 25,000. I'm not going to cover more than $25,000 per project in this. You don't have to stop there. You can keep going above $25,000 per project. It just may take you a long time to get to that stack. All right, so over here, we're at 0. Let's go with people who are not yet being paid as an expert. You're not yet a freelancer. You're not yet an agency owner. You are right down here at 0. Maybe you don't even have the skills to charge money yet. So what do? Well, right here at 0, we're gonna put a stack underneath 0, meaning you're not gonna get paid. You're actually going to pay with your time, your effort, so that we can practice in the real world. We may have read books, may have taken some courses on how to do the thing that we're going to sell, but we don't have any real world on-the-job training. So we start for free. And we build up case studies off of that. We get our experience, and we have a stack that's underneath 0. And you do maybe 1 to 4 of those before you're able to charge. And you've got a track record to say, hey, I'm valuable enough to get paid for this because I have education and I have on-the-job training. But my very first marketing project, the very first time I sold copywriting, I charged $500. I had never actually written an ad for anyone and got paid for it at that point. I'd written some copy for websites and stuff like that, but I'd never actually written an ad that was designed to get results. So I read a book the night before my meeting, and it said, do this 2-step marketing process. And I said, okay, great. And I went and I pitched my prospect on this whole idea that I would create this two-step ad process and generate a bunch of leads for their software. And I got paid $500 for it. So that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with $500, and that's our first stack. Once you've got one person who paid you $500, that's your first case study. And I want to be really clear here. I'm only talking about project work, because if you were to try to start off with like $500 a month and you don't really have a track record yet, you're probably only going to keep that person for maybe a month, maybe 3 months. So maybe you get $1,500. But if you just start off with a single project, maybe that project's $1,500. But you start off with a single project that you can do quickly and deliver results quickly for your client, and then you can start selling them additional services. And this is where a lot of new people get really hung up. They hear this recurring revenue stuff and they jump right into, that's what I'm going to do. I heard some guru say I need to do recurring revenue, and they don't even have enough experience to deliver value on a recurring basis. So just start with a project. And if you do a great job, they're more than likely to hire you for additional projects, and even additional projects at a higher rate, and additional projects that recur. So this is something that I really want you to focus on. Let's just start getting the initial projects. $500. Then we get another one for $500. Then we get a third one for $500. Then we get our fourth one for $500. You can do this in a short amount of time because for $500, it should take you no more than 3 or 4 hours to complete the project. You'll actually spend more time trying to get that client than you will actually doing the service, because you should be charging about $200 an hour for the work you do. You're going to put in a small amount of time, but it's going to have a significant return for your client, and they're going to be very happy about that. And they don't care about your hourly rate. All they care about is that they paid you $500 and they got a sizable return. Now for your next stack, you've got 4 case studies that you can use. Maybe you need to do more case studies because a few of them you don't get results for and you have to give their money back, or something just goes wrong and you don't have great case studies, you don't have a good relationship with that client. Okay, so maybe that's the case and you have to go get 8 yeses in that $500 stack. But once you have enough of those and you personally start feeling more confident, then it's time to raise your rates and you go into your second stack. And in this one, what I recommend is that you just double your fees. If that makes you uncomfortable, great. Put it into action. This is your growing period. You're going to learn to command value for the work that you do. You've got proof from your first stack. Your first client stack shows proof that you can do the job. You do not tell the people in the second stack that you only charged $500 previously. You charge them $1,000 now in this stack, and you do 4 of those clients. And now you are building up more credibility, you're building up more self-confidence. And that's truly what client stacking is all about, is building up your own self-confidence so that you can continue to raise your rates according to the value you provide your clients. Now you've gotten 4 clients at $1,000 for that project. Now you can still go back to those 4 plus the previous 4 and offer them additional services at your new rates. So the ones who were at $500, you can't sell them the exact same project, but you may be able to sell them a similar project. You may be able to sell them a similar service. So you go from, say, $500 for one thing that you delivered to $500 a month. And they're eager to pay you that because, well, you proved yourself on the first project. Here's where a lot of freelancers get hung up. So they are, say, a graphic designer, and they charged $500 for a certain amount of graphic design work, and they delivered that work, and they get hung up on it because that client doesn't want to pay double the price for the same kind of work. And that's the tricky part. For marketers, it's relatively easy. It's like, oh, I developed a package and I did this service for you, and now I've got these other marketing packages that I can sell you. And those are bigger, better, and deliver greater results. So I can charge a significant price, and the client is comparing apples and oranges. But if you only do one type of service, it's going to be very difficult to go back and essentially charge a higher hourly rate. But what you can do, if you are a freelancer like this, what you can do is that you can go back to those clients and sell them just more of your time. And like I said, you're charging about $200 an hour. You're not telling them it's an hourly rate. You're doing it based on packages. You just get them to commit to a larger package with you, and you deliver the work. And they don't care how long it takes you to do it, as long as you get it to them quickly and you do a great job. Now we're going to jump on to the third stack. And remember, we went from 500 to 1,000. We're not going to go from 1,000 to 2,000, because this would just take us forever. So I would rather you go from 1,000, now let's jump up to say 2,500, or even better, $5,000 per project. You now have enough experience to know how to get particular results for your clients, and you can take that experience and your confidence and create a brand new package, a brand new project that meets your client's needs. I gotta really stress this. New clients have no idea what your old pricing was. Don't tell them, oh, I used to charge this, because then they're gonna say, well, keep charging that, because I don't want to pay a higher rate for the same thing. Even if they're going to get massive value, they want to have the best price for the most value. And if you're going to just devalue yourself, then they're going to accept it. So I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is just tell them, this is the price. Here's the real thing. You're not the same person from stack 2, and you're definitely not the same person from stack 1. You are now a new person. You've got greater experience, you have greater insights, and you have greater value to deliver to new clients. So you should be charging far more. In our third stack, we're at $5,000 per project. That's still really far. It's a fifth of our $25,000 per project. But now you've got greater experience at this level. And here's where most people stop. They go, $5,000 for this project that I used to charge $500 for. That's a 10x increase. I'm crazy happy right here. And that's okay. You could charge $5,000 for a project. Let's say it's websites. You could do a semi-custom website for $5,000, accomplish it in probably 3 or 4 days if you could get the client to deliver you the assets you need. You're doing 20 grand and you're working, I don't know, 10 days a month to be able to make $20,000. You know, that's pretty exciting. So this is where a lot of people stop. And that's okay. If you're cool with that kind of money, then stop right there. But then if you really want to transform your life, you create a brand new package. And this is where strategy, this is where thinking comes into play. If you really want transformational money, you need to go into the fourth stack, where you go from charging $5,000 for a project to $25,000 for a project. This one may require you to go after clients that you're not comfortable with. It's a matter of going after clients who get significant value from the type of work you do, from the type of thinking you do. So you're going to have to step away from just labor to being able to sell thinking along with it. And this project should occur in less than a month. Maybe 2 months. If you find the right client with the right value proposition that you can deliver for them, then being able to charge $25,000 over the course of 2 months, or $25,000 in a month, or in a week, or in a day becomes possible. But this is a major shift in who you are. not in the client. Then we're going to go get 4 yeses in that $25,000 stack. And then that becomes our customer base from then on. Now let me wrap this up with a very important lesson. When you're going on this graph, going from down here at the first stack to the second stack, third stack, and finally your fourth one, is that you need to do each project as if they were part of the higher stack. You may have promised somebody $500 work, but you're going to deliver them $1,000 work. When you're doing $1,000 work, you promised them $1,000 work. You're going to give them $5,000 work. This is how you build your portfolio. This is how you get excited clients. This is how you get referrals. There's no law that says this time has to take years. You could do this in a matter of months if you wanted to. If you were willing to put in that kind of effort, you could do it in a short time. But that's a belief system, not market mechanics. You can go from wherever you're at right now in your first stack, that's where you are right now, to that higher stack, your fourth stack, quickly. It doesn't have to take years. Most of you will take years because your own self-worth has to grow, but you can shorten that time by always delivering at a higher stack level when you're doing your current work. You give them greater value, you give them greater results than what you promised them. And that's how you go from wherever you're at on the stack to 25,000 or more per project. Hopefully you found this valuable, and hopefully you put it into action, because you can start on it no matter where you're at. You may be at 25,000 already. You can go that stack 1. Now let's go to stack 2, and then 3, and then stack 4. If you like the video, please like the video, subscribe, share, and as always, do all the socials, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, before you go, check this one out. This one is on selling your thinking. This is one of the fastest ways to increase your project fee, so go check it. And we're done.